Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're there.
Good job.
I got that.
Everybody. Round of applause for Rob.
I'm working on the production side. Hello, folks. Welcome to the EKN Debrief Live of round number 4 of the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour Summer Nationals from Newcastle. The lighting we have here is pretty aggressive. You want more, David?
I just noticed that you were louder than I was, so little mic over on my side.
First shout out coming from Gary Calling up in Canada. Good evening, gentlemen. His son Owen having a birthday. The O-Dog, awesome. Reiner Bug from Racing for Vets. You're pulling that T-shirt a little later on. All right, folks, getting things underway here. We got the first day of the second weekend of the Pro Tour in the books. We got the results there. Anytime I do races, they just kind of happen. So David will kind of lead the way on the reports. I'll try to bring in some information as I remember when we get going here. Dave, rum and coke tonight for me. Margarita.
Okay. Now, did you make it yourself?
No,
it's a pre-mix.
It's a pre-mixed one. I didn't feel
sad.
Listen, we're getting
That's what Masters drivers do.
We get home at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night from the racetrack. I'm not gonna. I couldn't. I mean, listen, hold on. I'm making ceviche in the fridge. That's a pretty big step right there. I did a lot of lines on that one. I'll have that later on. And again, getting things underway for the fourth round. David, a couple of new names jumping in that weren't at the first race. A couple of guys not here as usual, which is interesting. And then
the track
itself. That's kind of the biggest key, obviously. And then that talks a little bit about rubber kind of going down. We did the super mile, the 1.1 mile, 17 turn corner where they turn right at turn 4 and go through the oval over the ski jump and into the right left combination 7 and 8. That was a really interesting part of the racetrack. Much different here this particular weekend doing reverse national. I've never seen the track ever driven this way before. It's been done, but I've never seen it.
I love it. It's just something new and different.
It is different.
We haven't done it. I mean, Newcastle's been here for what now? 16, almost 16
Probably
years.
more than that. Yeah.
So this is
like
16th season that they've been around. Pro Tour has been here since 2015. We've always done the national or the super mile now.
Mm-hmm.
Got to change it up. We have 48 different layouts to try. Let's do something different. So I think because we're always going the same direction. When you go the opposite direction, it throws a different. You gotta have as we're seeing. Not everybody who was fast last weekend.
Heck no,
is not fast.
Some guys are struggling, actually, literally struggling.
So it's a great change. It's a great mix-up because we obviously don't have the opportunity to go to different facilities right now. We're at the same facility. But you have 3 different rounds of racing counting today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So it's great. I love it.
And a much different start because we're starting on the straightaway. The start-finish line's actually on the track, the part of the track that's parallel to the actual race's grill, the primary building. That's the old start-finish. The rundown into now the I-70 hairpin in the opening corner. And I was actually surprised that we didn't have more incidents. I thought there was going to be a lot more.
I think the pushback bumper certainly helps. I think that helps. People are trying to keep off bumpers. You don't have guys coming from 20th to 10th in the corner. So that certainly helps. Yeah. But it's a unique situation because I don't think there's very many tracks now that we go to that have a hairpin as the opening corner. We used to have it at SummerNats.
Yeah, they got rid away from that.
Somebody, I won't say who, said, when SKUSA came here, they're like, no, we can't have the old start finish line. We have to have the new one. So that's when they moved it on the long straightaway after I-70. And so now that we're at the old start finish line, or at least finish line, starting line, obviously down the straightaway, and I think it's working. The shifters, a little bit of issues going into I-70 on the opening corner in the main event, but other than that, just your normal, typical, everybody fending for the same real estate. And
you still, because the way the hairpin's lined up, the huge straightaway afterwards, not like the SummerNats where it's always like that little short shoot afterwards, you simply can't just throw it in there because you're going to get passed anyways. Because it's you got to get out of that corner, and then it's a long run back to the scoreboard corner, which is normally it was 15 and now it's turn number 4. So we saw a lot of guys kind of settling in there. Talking to some guys, David, I know you went around the paddock. I did the same thing. Some guys saying that the rubber's finally starting to go down. That they think potentially by Sunday we could have a lot more rubber down. Did you take kind of the same feel?
Yeah, just that it's a different feel because we're going in a different direction, so it doesn't quite have that feel of a normal racetrack because a lot of the rubber is on the exit.
It's on the exit now, yeah.
Instead of the entry because the last 3 rounds were the opposite direction. So that's But I think more so, it's a lot of these corners at the Newcastle. It almost is banked or dipped to where there's like some guys were saying it's loose and then it grips up and then it loses grip. This morning, we're talking to people.
All right, that's interesting.
So I didn't really talk to much people talking about how it ended up at the end of the day. But it's just a unique situation that we're in because a lot of these people have never been, and thankfully they have Thursday practice. Yeah. So everybody's kind of accustomed to what the track layout is doing, and it's just a matter of what how the track is going to change as the weekend goes along.
Marianne Gilmore asking what the drink of choice is. She came out a little bit late. Marianne, margarita. David, rum and Coke. Shocker. Super shocker. All right, so here's the one thing too, weather-wise, we had another great day. Dave, we talked about it the whole time last week, and every time I look at the schedule and we're scrolling down to this week, it's nothing raining for like a full week. We literally had a pretty good day today, 70 degrees. We got to the racetrack, ended up being, I think, 82 by the end of the day, some cloud cover.
Overcast, yeah. It was overcast throughout the day. Yep. Towards the end of the day, the clouds started to break up and the sun came through.
And sunny tomorrow, based on when I got my iPhone, and then the potential for some precipitation on Sunday. Teddy Ted, straight up. No more draft in the last lap, which I really like. The last lap was much different this time.
That's the part I love about it because you can draft up early on the last lap, draft up. Up to I-70 and then coming back. Mm-hmm. But you got to be able to get through the rest of the racetrack in order to be there at the finish line. And now for micro and mini, it's a little bit harder because those guys are almost essentially flat out through the last couple of corners.
Feels like it, yeah.
But for the faster categories, as we saw even in shifter, you can go for it.
You can go for it.
And even X30 Junior and X30 Senior guys were making a move.
Yeah, and there were passes
coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, not so much in the right-hander. But in the left-hander setting up, some guys dive into the inside. There was actually a pass like right in the last corner to dive in. So, all right, David, jump in here right now. We'll go with micro swift. I kind of lined it up to go micro mini. This was kind of a wild deal because there was a lot of action coming up front. We don't really know the entire inside scoop on what happened because one of the particular drivers got a DQ. We don't know the whole thing. We've heard some stuff, but we're going to try to go to the race control tomorrow to get more of an update. So it's not really for us because we don't know the actual what exactly happened, the penalties that were laid down. We don't want to kind of go to that. In the end, but there was a lot of penalties. I believe Vivek Canthan ended up with the race win on the racetrack. Isaac Malkiet was in there as well. Asher Osteen. It ended up with do you have all the stuff? I heard there was a pushback bumper penalty. I heard there was a potential.
We'll start with
blocking.
We'll start with the provisional winner, which was Vivek Canthan.
Okay.
He had a pushback bumper penalty, 3 seconds, so had the win taken away that way.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how they crossed the line, so I don't know that. Let me look. Let me look at here. So,
I believe it was Canthan across the line first, right?
Canthan was across the line first, so that. But again, see, they adjusted the time, so I can't do that. So,
and Weinberg was second.
Weinberg had and I'll just read it as the app tells us, unsportsmanlike conduct after finish.
Okay.
So that's the issue. We'll find a little bit more information. I have one side of the story, but I'd like to hear the other side.
I want to simply get it.
And get the officials.
Here you go. Christy Lynn Weinberg says. Unsportsmanlike conduct for Carson Weinberg. He deserved it. All right. So we've heard what we've heard. Kristen, I appreciate you giving us that. I don't know what that exactly happened. We're going to go to the race control to get their full call on that. So
I like that she says he deserved it because that would mean that the penalty was valid. Yeah. So I guess that's a positive in that light of sense.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, we'll get the official.
What else you got?
So
there's a ton.
So 75. That is Malkiet. A pushback bumper penalty as well.
Okay.
What did the 49? 49 guys blocking, driving down with number 1 3-second penalty. So blocking penalty for him.
Okay.
So I think that was the lead group, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then
yes.
Yeah. So we got. Yeah, so we got the 4 different drivers, and then left over was Jack Iliff with no penalties, and essentially was, I think, fifth.
He was P5.
Crossed the line fifth, moved up to first. Yep. So that is the hard breakdown of the micro class, which is you don't want to see that in micro. We hadn't seen that all last weekend, so
There's more comments from Christy Lynn Weinberg. She says he admits his emotions ran too high. So again, that's like, I don't know. We don't. I personally don't. We heard stuff in the paddock. Of course, people are coming to us like they always do. I want to go hear from Bo Barfield and John Maskey before we say anything. But again, like I've always said this before, we're talking about micro and mini drivers, especially with different ones in that particular category, because they're learning. It's a learning experience and hopefully a teaching experience and teaching opportunity as well. That's my feeling. Yeah.
But
although I don't know how.
Aside from all that, iLift becomes the fourth different winner.
He won the final race.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he went back to back. I think didn't he win?
I
think he went back to back. So he's the point leader. Second, first.
I don't know. The points are on my laptop. I can't open them.
Second, first. I'm almost sure. But good to see Isaac Malkin in there.
He didn't have multiple wins.
Second, first. He won 3 and 4.
Now I get it.
And Isaac Malkin not able to make it, so he ends up coming in and actually running up front, which is great in the middle of the fight. A little bit of the same with the mini Swift category. In the end, Parker DeLong gets the race win, but he wasn't going to win the race. Coming down the straightaway out of the hairpin last lap into turn 4. You got some notes. It was pretty wild coming into turn 4.
I didn't see exactly what happened. I was coming up, but yeah, it was. I believe the scoreboard corner is where everything happened.
In the scoreboard corner, the left-hander. I want to say it was Gafera potentially coming in first, but here Gafera went to the inside.
Weldon.
That's right.
Picked up a lot of pace since last weekend. I mean, they were there at the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
But even now on this racetrack, they've picked up more speed.
Fast lap of the race. Yeah. He was coming, literally coming through the field and was the man on the move, worked his way up. Last lap, Gafera's on the inside of 4, probably too far to the inside. But anyways, Weldon goes way to the outside, and then as they come around, everything gets crazy. I want to say it was Max Garcia. I think they got into the back of again, at the race. I would call so many races. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he got into the back of Garcia. Got in the back of Gafera, coming, turn into the corner, pushing off the corner. They make the run up to turn number 6, and all kind of hell breaks loose. At that point, people going left and right. And were there penalties? Why did Weldon end up going? He ended up in 18th.
But they were.
So they all go wide. Of course, they get pushed out. Cam's from the outside. They all got to get caught up a little bit. And Weldon, of course, is on the outside. And then Gafera gets pushed kind of outside to him. And all of a sudden, the DeLong's there, P4, turning into the apex, and there's nobody in front of him. And I think. Was it Gafera? I think Gafera was almost trying to hold him off, and then there was a bit of an argy-bargy in 6 or whatever. But it was DeLong ended up essentially getting gifted the lead. He's worked his way to the front many times. Parker had. This time he just literally got gifted with the incident that happened in front of him.
Yeah, just kind of how the race unfolded, and Salim Hanna was right there to take advantage as well, and slotted up into in the second position, and Garcia up to third. So. Really, the top 3 there weren't expecting to be on the podium when the white flag waved, and were able to be there. That dropped Gafar back to 4th, and then Meza in 5th. The penalty for Weldon dropping him down to 18th was contact with the 177 of Spencer Conrad. They were all in that group. I mean, it was a large lead group.
Yes, it was.
And I'm going to guess that was on the final lap because Conrad was up there. So I'm assuming there was some contact between them two on the final lap because Conrad actually ended up in the 19th position.
Oh, they both, okay.
Weldon getting a 5-second penalty, dropping him down to 18th.
There you go. All in all, impressed though with Weldon's speed. Like David said, they kind of came on at the end of he and Oliver coming on at the end of the weekend, last weekend on the Super Mile. And yeah, the bottom Weldon was just coming through the field, like just every lap coming through, move, getting to the front, get himself in the right spot. And really the racecraft was strong. I didn't see the incident between he and Conrad, but he did go to the outside. Gafaro's on the inside. And I think he was hoping to try to run the outside and get out of it, but just didn't work.
Sometimes the outside way works, sometimes it doesn't.
Agreed. All right, moving to the next one here. If you have any questions, folks, feel free to post them up here. David and I will do our best to find them. But today, remember, we're going to do it live again tomorrow, so there's an opportunity for us to give you an update what happened then. Let's go KA100 Junior. John Burke ends up with the fast lap of the race. I literally don't remember how this thing I knew there was like 6 guys in the top pack. Go.
Burke started.
Oh, that's the pre-final though.
But was involved in a opening corner wreck.
Oh, you said he went down to 19th.
Was down to the 18th position on the opening circuit. And so you're figuring, well, maybe a top 10 finish for him. But as they kept racing ahead of him,
yeah.
He kept picking off guys. He eventually got himself up into the lead group. And then, so lap. He was 19th there. Some more contact on lap 15 involving Matteo Rubio Luengo trying to make a move up to, I think it was trying to get into third and actually shot up to get along Carson. I think Morgan was leading at the time. So essentially was
What were we talking about?
an I-70.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Shot to the inside, essentially went from like fourth to first.
He could have had one pass,
Yeah.
maybe two. Went for three. That's right.
And so it essentially caused a little bit of chaos there. I think Opolsky was one who got the bad part.
And I think didn't Burke over under at that point or something like get him?
Burke just kind of went through it.
Yeah.
Was able to avoid.
I wasn't sure who got through it.
Was able to get through it all. Came out leading the race and essentially was able to hold off the rest of the lead group who kind of diminished after that contact, but was able to hold off Brent Cruz for the victory.
I thought Weston Workman did a great job. Weston was in there scrapping away. Hardcore got himself up. It could have been dropped a couple times, but ended up being in the middle of the fight. And Thomas Annunziata and Brent Cruz both have been really good, of course, all the first weekend and have started off strong this weekend as well. So, John Burke, I think that's 3 wins for him in K100 Junior. No,
Again,
we don't have
the
points are there.
I mean, I can grab them if you want me to.
Have a look. We got time. I'm almost certain it's 3 wins for Burke. Cole will get his laptop out. He's going to have to go to work and get everything dialed in there. So that was K100 Junior. We don't need. I'm pretty sure on that one. We can jump back if we have to.
It's not going to take us long. I mean, we can talk about something else. I mean, talk about our shirts.
Heidi Welk is here, folks. So if you're at trackside, make sure you head over to the Styled Aesthetic tent just by the bathrooms, about by the grid. There's not a lot of support karting T-shirts left. If you haven't bought one yet, let's take care of those. They're going to go back to all EKN.
You were correct. 2 wins, John Burke.
So that's his 3rd win then.
So it is his 3rd win because, yes, you were talking about how a good finish here and tomorrow would essentially put him in the catbird seat.
Okay, you're going to be pulling this out. Great question from Emery Lida. Can he clinch the championship tomorrow? I think, that's
what you talked about.
If he wins.
When you win 3 times, it certainly helps out of
the
best 5.
Where did he finish? What's his
third? So he's got 4 straight podiums.
Yeah, so
including 3 wins.
So a win, not even a win, probably.
Now, obviously, losing points in the pre-final doesn't help. You know, he came from.
That's true. It was 19.
He was 8th in the pre-final.
Yeah,
but that's not too bad.
No. It's stealing points from other people, right? You get a fast lap of the race here too, which is right fast lap. Yeah, which is another 10 points. So. I think he can lock it in tomorrow for sure. Bonus. If he goes out and ends up winning, it's a done deal. He's got the thing locked and loaded, which is good. K100 Senior. Really early became six karts at one point. I think. Yeah, pretty sure Austin Osborne was caught in the middle there at one point. Maybe he might have been 5 karts.
Osborne was 7th, kind of
by himself.
The man on the island, just waiting for them to either come back to him or for the group behind him to catch him, and eventually the group behind him caught him. But the top 6 was pretty patient. You know, not a lot of jostling.
I agree.
Not a lot of shuffling there. You know, if somebody made a move, okay, we'll settle back in. So it was a little bit calmer than I think it was, last weekend for these guys. But again, still 6 drivers who were really quick up front.
I also do think there was a couple of guys out there that probably weren't working with each other. You know, there was times the guys could have been working with each other, and it just seemed to me like, again, I mentioned on the broadcast, I think it seemed like guys were I'm just going to race as hard as I can. I'm going to make moves. I'm going to make some dive bomb moves. I'll let the chaos happen behind me. Well, I saw that in Junior a lot. I think I saw it in Senior a bit too.
Well, essentially, yeah. I mean, the only teammates you had was Nate Cicero, and Bryson Morris. Yeah. But as we've seen, Morris doesn't really work with anybody. He kind of just goes off and does what he does. Yeah. But but the rest of them are all non-teammates. So that has a lot to do with it. You know, if you don't have a dancing partner, it's kind of you're on your own. And I think you're right. You know, it's better to be ahead of the chaos than behind you.
That's it. If you throw it in there and the chaos happens behind you, you're going to get that gap you're looking for. Emery Lida also said that pretty sure Morris can clinch both championships in Senior tomorrow if everything goes right. And I think that's probably the case.
Well, we haven't talked about who actually won the race or where he finished.
Let's jump into that. Let's go. Do it.
It was so they essentially were patient until the last couple of laps.
That's right.
That's when kind of the chaos happened. And really the race was decided in Cell Corner Tower, as Cicero, the Winter Series champion, was able to put himself into the lead in that corner. and then more jostling behind him allowed him to kind of cruise through the checker flag.
Oh, that was Mars and Adams kind of coming out of the left, the double left-hander coming into the right 11, and yeah, he just at that point he was able to stretch out enough that they were going to challenge. Luca Mars ends up second, Garrett Adams in third behind Nate Cicero. He's still in the fight though, too, championship-wise, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, he was fourth coming in. What's he drop? He's dropping a 194. Yeah. It's to be honest, the way that Bryson's run in both K100 and X30 Senior, and the way he has the consistent finishes he's had, literally, if he wins, he wins. It's as simple as that.
But again, we have 2 rounds of racing still. So you still got to be good tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're not good 5 straight days, then you got to make it up on the final day.
It's true.
And, you have Lemke who won round 1. So he's kind of had the target on his back. Mm-hmm. And nobody's working together. And he's kind of been the bullseye.
He's not working with anybody.
But he's 5th. He was 5th today, Morris 4th. So again, you got Morris, Lemke, Adams, Cicero. Ferris was actually 6th in the race, but got dropped down to 8th.
He was higher up.
I'm not quite sure what happened on there, but he was coming in 5th in points. Maccabee had some issues today. I actually didn't.
I don't think he ran today. That's right.
Because again, somebody said that this track is a little bit tougher.
Okay.
And some people were bailing
somebody
out.
Somebody told us that.
Not going to happen. But
here's one thing I do want to mention, and that's Terranota, who I think he started in the pole position.
Earned the pole position. In qualifying.
Yeah, and then it came from deep in the field.
Well, got wrecked in the opening corner and pulled off.
This is it. But then came from deep in the field in the main event. I was watching him come through the field and just did a tremendous job getting himself up to 11th, I think. Yeah, almost into the top 10. But all in all, really good run. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so hard charger for him.
Yep.
Up to 12th, and then Ferris was a pushback bumper.
Okay, there you have it. All right. If you have any questions, guys, serve it up. I'd love to hear them. It is Friday night, 9:20. X30 Junior. This is the fight in this category is almost the same thing, where these guys really. It looks like they're going to work together a little bit, and then they're together. Like somebody's tapping the back of their head the next second. The minute it's like you tap my head, and he's past me, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to work with each other. They're all diving on the inside each other on a regular basis, and I think they probably could have pulled away and did that. 6 drivers, 5, 4, 3, dropping the last guy. Didn't happen at all. This was a pretty crazy finish, as I remember. Paul Bocuse stepped up late and got into the fight.
Essentially, let's get to the midpoint of the race where we had a number of DNFs, including Jace Park, lap 10, who actually flipped over.
That's true. That was coming out.
There's a lot of jostling, especially at the scoreboard corner in this race all race long. And it looked like 3 drivers all going for the same piece of real estate on the exit. Park was the victim of all of it, and essentially ended up going over and sliding on his head. Not quite sure what type of injury he received. He was able to get up the right way, so it might have been possibly something with his hand or wrist, as you said. But that kind of essentially shuffled up the lead group, because they were all within the lead group. Him, along with Burke and Annunziata, were victims in the incident.
And I don't think it needed to happen. They were like that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on back. The leaders were kind of up front, the top 3, not a long way away, but they kept battling each other. They were literally 2 wide, 3 rows deep going into the scoreboard corner in turn number 4. And as they came out of the corner, I want to say that Burke potentially got kind of almost pushed off to the track, and of course, the wheel up, leaned back into it a bit and got into it. And I want to say that maybe Park was on the inside, and they kind of got together. And
three drivers going for the same piece of real estate, essentially, is what it was. So that shuffled things up. Halsky ended up coming out with the lead, but he was run down by Brent Cruz, Morgan, and Bocuse, as you were talking about. And eventually, Cruz was able to get away and earn the victory. Opolsky was 3rd. It looks like 4th as they crossed the line, with Morgan and Bocuse in 2nd and 3rd. The DQ for Max Opolsky was a weight was not fastened correctly.
Oh, I heard.
I did not know until I looked at the app.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't. Ryan Perry told me it wasn't double nutted.
No, that's it's on the text sheet. If you've signed off on it that it's double nutted, it's your responsibility. I mean, it's no different than having the wrong washer in your spark plug.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
But this is a lot. This is more safety.
It's a lot different. It's not a performance deal. I get
the washer's not a performance deal either.
If you have a washer on your plug, it's a performance deal.
Hold on. No, because it's not the right washer.
If it's a different thickness, it is. The plug goes deeper into the combustion chamber.
I disagree.
I don't think anybody will agree with you, David Cole. If you have the wrong washer, if you don't use the washer, the plug goes deeper in and it changes the.
I don't want to argue.
It changes the.
Well, we got too long of a show to be sitting here.
Engine builders, tell me what it changes. Tell me what it changes. We'll talk about it tomorrow with somebody that knows more than you. But the double nut doesn't change anything, does it?
No.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's tough, but like you said, sign off on it.
Yeah, signed off on it, so it's your responsibility. And yeah.
There you go. Matt Langford, plug washer thickness makes a difference.
Matt has no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen him work.
Danny Formel, smaller washer, more compression.
Yeah.
What I just said.
Okay, so what? So if you're running a thicker washer, it should slow you down, right?
You're just dumb.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm referring to.
No, you're not referring.
Yeah, because John Crow.
I thought he didn't have a washer on it.
Indy.
I thought he didn't have a washer on. That was the key. All the way in. Yeah. There you go. I love it.
Either way.
Anyways, Brent Cruz with the win.
When you dominate, and a washer's not gonna give you 0.2 of a second to lap.
You're gonna get these guys.
Give me.
You guys want to say it?
0.2.
Brent Cruz, Carson Morgan.
0.2.
Brent Cruz, Carson Morgan, Paul Bocuse. Paul with fast lap of the race. Obviously, that win. I always say you get that first win.
Size doesn't matter.
First win. We got to bring that one up. Oh yeah, that's bad. So this is Matt Langford says plug washer thickness does make a difference. I agree. Danny Formel, smaller washer, more compression. Exactly. Danny Formel says I love it. You guys are wrong on the whole finish. Max Blanchard, lots of possibility too, Matt. I apologize. I don't. You obviously watch it much closer than we because I announced 18 races today, so I wasn't quite sure what happened. Hold on. So Matt's telling us Morgan P1 bumper, Bocuse P2 bumper. Oh,
well, then maybe that's what it was.
Let's get the update then. I appreciate this.
Well, again,
was that what it was? Go on. Look, was that what it was?
There right now.
I don't remember. What
because I thought Opolsky. Oh, maybe it was Morgan that crossed the line first. You're right. Okay.
So what's the pushback? How much was it? A 5 second?
I got to get the numbers. Give me the
Matt's hugging us up.
Because that's the problem with these sheets. They don't tell us the penalties, and now we have to go to this stupid app. Sorry, it's not stupid, but it's just frustrating because everything should be on paper.
It is tougher for us to do that. It's for sure.
So yeah. So what are the numbers? 788 pushback bumper penalty 3 seconds. 701 pushback bumper 3 seconds.
So yeah, and he would have been
So they would have been 1-2, and Cruz was third.
He would have been hit. That's it.
Okay. Matt's good thing I didn't write the story yet. Thanks, Matt.
That's good. All right. Well, that's good.
Don't do Christie's.
That's enough. That's good. We'll get rid of Matt Steele up there right now. All right. He says, basically, I could only get yelled at so much. Wear a mask. Good idea. See, you stay at home. All right. Let's go X30. Let's start with X30 Master. We bring Miguel Mir into the fight for cross-link competition. He wasn't able to make it last weekend. An issue from Adam Pettit, who was the point leader, I believe, coming in. Yes, I think so, point leader, second. He ends up having an issue early on, goes to the tail of the field, so he's essentially out of it anyways. Miguel Mir leads for a majority of the start. Scott Roberts right there with him. It gets the pass for the race lead and win. It starts to get dicey because Mir got back by him, and they were kind of dicing up a little bit, as I remember. And then Sal Sparacillo got closed up as well. But in the end, Scott Roberts was able to hold the spot. He got a pass, I think, at the final lap over in turn 4, I think, right?
Green corner.
Oh, the green corner.
Yeah, green corner. That seemed to be I don't want to give anybody's secrets out, but it seemed to be
a lot of guys passed there.
Very good, even in the shifter categories, especially. It seemed to be a great opportunity to pass there.
I know that Scott passed Miguel at least once or twice in the turn 4 as well. So that was what ends up happening there. Roberts had a fast lap of the race, crucial in the championship because he gets those 10 points for the bonus as well, and then also wins with Pettit going back and forth in the KA 100 Masters category. Nick Tucker, Jonathan Silva battling out at the end of that race, and they end up going back and forth.
It should have been a 3-driver fight, but Pettit got into the mix as he was coming back.
I'm
not quite sure what happened.
Trying to come through those guys.
But it ended up with Jenkins turned around at the start-finish line during lap 5 it had to have been, as they were coming to
super early in the race
to complete lap 5. So essentially allowed Tucker and Silva to drive away as Jenkins pulled out.
And Tucker passed Silva on the last lap, I think, and then Actually, no, passed him in the green corner.
Silva
Had the lead
around Tucker. I think 2 to go, if I recall correctly, somewhere around there. And Tucker made his move at the green corner.
And Jonathan tried the over-under.
But just
pinched it
a little bit too hard and lost all the momentum.
And yes, I heard this as well.
Yes.
Danny Formal saying that Ariel Castro going to race tomorrow as well. So that'll be great. Throw Ariel Castro into the fight, which I think will be cool. So he's coming to run as well. 2 more to go. We got X30 Senior. Then we'll roll through the shifter car categories. Let's go X30 Senior right now. Up front, David, see what penalties there were in this particular category. This was
I think the top 5 is safe.
I thought it was back and forth. One of the guys I was watching, of course, was wondering whether or not he can win his 5th championship. Is Ryan Norberg. He was back in 10th at one point. Then he worked his way up. I want to say he almost got the 4th position. He was in a pretty good battle with Braden Eves. Up front, though, the 3 drivers were Jarsakrak, Luke Mars, and Arias Dugmedjian. All 3 drivers took turns up front.
Along with the top qualifier, Thomas Neveu. Thomas Neveu.
Thomas Neveu from PSL Karting was in there as well. That's right. Now Neveu was there, but then he got shuffled back and then fought his way all the way back up again. And we'll talk about the last lap. Actually, we'll go to the last lap, essentially. Dugmedjian had the lead. Mm-hmm. Neveu was, I think, in 2nd spot. It came out of turn double apex. I'm calling it turn 10. Through turn 11, which is the right-hand that leads on the straightaway down to the final corners. And essentially, Mars tossed it in there. And it was hard for me to see whether or not it was aggressive contact. All I know is Neveu was straight off the racetrack.
He got locked in with Mars bumpers. Somehow their bumpers got locked.
I didn't seem like a pump.
It just somehow Neveu just kind of sorry.
It's all right, Neveu. We'll get there.
Shot away. I don't know if it was just to kind of detach himself from the bumper, but
literally 15 feet off the track.
They got locked in, and he ended up getting the worst of it as Mars was able to continue. But that allowed Jarsakrak to go from 4th to 2nd, and allowed our Dugmedjian. Arias Dugmedjian. AD. I can write it. I can't say it.
Listen.
Allowed him to go to the victory.
Yeah. The fact you can write it's still pretty impressive too.
Well, it's been easy to write that.
So Jarsakrak's able to get 2nd on that run. Luca Mars ends up in 3rd. Was that the way they ended on the track, or was there a penalty?
No penalties up in the top 10.
All right. Thomas Neveu ends up going down to the 9th position. There's a lot of running back and forth between Norberg, Arscott, Eves, Bryson Morris. Morris was back to 10th, and I think we talked about the championship a little bit with Emery. Morris was 10th. I'm saying to myself, wow, this is going to really open things up if he ends up finishing 10th. He keeps working forward. There's a little bit of crap in front of him that gets moving people around. One of them, of course, being Neveu, as we said. Somehow Morris ends up P5 when it's all said and done. I think one of the most badass passes was probably handed Greenmeyer going to the inside of Norberg in turn number 13, which is the second last corner, the right, the left, the right, but coming into the left-hander. It was open. Hannah tossed it in there, and no contact, I don't think whatsoever. Maybe a little bit. I don't think there was much. And boom, she gets through on Norberg. And at that point, Norberg was going backwards, and he was actually running, as I said, 8th position before Neveu went off. And it really wasn't looking good for Norberg. Like I said, I almost thought he crossed the line in 10th, so I want to feel like it was a penalty or two, but maybe not.
No.
He ends up in 7th position. He's really in a tough place to be right now.
Came in 2nd in the points, so he had that going for him, but obviously needed to gain ground on Morris, who's leading the championship with his two victories. So losing ground in the championship there. Luca Mars came in 3rd in points, so he's getting a little bit closer to Morris. Obviously, 2 spots in the main event certainly helps, but we'll see how kind of things shake out. I mean, it's 3 straight podiums for Mars. Or sorry, yes, three straight podiums for Mars.
Wow, all right. Fast lap of the race with Jonathan Ports. He ended up coming through the field to finish 13th. Did get the fast lap, so solid run for Ports there. Let's comment with Chuck Cafera saying, aren't we supposed to be social distance 6 feet, guys? No, this is the EKN bubble.
Oh, we're in the bubble?
We're in the EKN bubble. It's all right. That's why we spent some time up in the corner there. Alicia, exactly.
We have our separate bedrooms, so that's good.
That's true. That's true. We got the bubble. All right,
I want to sleep with him.
Let's go to the shifter card category, and we'll cap things off here right now. The Pro 2 category, no, G2 category is all Nathan Stewart. He's won 4 races in a row. Not only is he
the smiling Kiwi.
Wow.
He's been smiling all last weekend, this weekend.
This is what's blowing me into the water. I'm actually seeing the guy smile. He takes a picture with his wife, and there's not a smile.
None.
I don't know what it is. He's got a beautiful, cool wife. You can't even smile around her.
She loves karting. She loves Fireball.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She works out. She runs. She's beautiful, and she's funny.
Why can't he smile?
I don't know. Maybe he's smiling because Rod Clenard's not here.
Oh, good point.
To make any mistakes.
He was smiling on Sunday because he was leaving, and now he's smiling because he's not here.
Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Poor Rod Clenard. So G2, as we said, he's smoking it. The thing about Nathan, he's running with some, like in the middle of a group with G1 drivers, with Pro 2 drivers, with Pro drivers. He's like kind of in this group, right just outside the top 12. You end up finishing 14th overall. Nathan did a good job there for PSL Karting. Justin Peck and Ken Schilling capping off the podium there. G1, Skitchy Barnes versus Joe Rook. And Nathan told me that he was behind them for a lot of it and was watching them go back and forth because the racing was really, really good. And then, of course, they come to the turn 13. He was inverted. Through 12, Skitchy Barnes leading.
It's actually 15, but
no, I counted all the corners.
Okay.
I don't know where you get that from.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you very much. Through 12, over to 13. You can tell me where the other corners are. This reminds me of Pat's Acres, where they have like 9 corners in the first 2. Into the left-hander, and Skitchy had a little bit of room left over. Joe's like, I'm going for it. In he goes. They're side by side a little bit. All of a sudden, up goes Joe. All I see is the bottom of the Race Factory chassis. Over he goes. Scott ends up slowing it, but Scott's able to keep going. He ends up coming through for the win. So it was a pretty wild finish for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't help Joe for the championship chase because it obviously dropped him down to third because
Anthony Stifler.
Yep, Anthony Stifler. It's funny, the HMG guys were like, "Man, I think he might win," but Barnes was able to keep it running and cross the line. Obviously, with them actually pitted next to each other under the same tent, it's
that's right.
It's funny, but we're just happy to see Joe was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, he got up and took the shirt off and had the whole chest hair hanging out.
Well, next time I think he's going to tell his wife, give him the thumbs up that she's okay.
He needs to do that.
Didn't tell her
he will not be married very much.
She's going to bitch slap is what's going to happen. In the Pro 2 category, this was actually a really good race in Pro 2. There's a bunch of pretty quick drivers in there. It was Chente Salas and Gavin Bailiff who kind of jetted away for first and second.
Because of contact in the opening.
That's true, because we lost a couple of guys over.
Baylor
Griffin
and
Anthony Freese.
Anthony Freese, who won the pre-final.
Yeah, Freese is going into the corner, into the very start. It's a really good start. I think it was right behind Rory Vanderster, and I believe contact from behind. It might have been from Smith Harden. Gets into the back, kind of spins some people around. Baylor Griffin gets caught up in that. So those 2 drivers who expected to probably battle for the race win or at the very least podiums for both those drivers, they end up going to the back. Chente Salas in the factory car takes full advantage of it. He and Gavin Bailiff really never separated for the entire race.
Right.
It looked to me, after not a great start, that Josh Pearson was going to be able to get himself in the third and actually made a move on Jason Enrique in the GFC and was able to get the spot. But as they came out of the green corner back through 7 and 8, Enrique really never kind of released and let go of them. They were making contact through 7. Again, this is my view from the back, not in car or anything like that, but they kind of got together, and it appears like they just didn't let up at all. And Enrique ended up climbing up on top of Pearson, and they both kind of spun off. Enrique was able to continue and confirm that he got a penalty because I want to say that he finished ahead of Andy Rule on the racetrack, but I'm pretty sure that he got a penalty for avoidable contact.
He did.
Andy Rule, tremendous job for her. She was pushing hard. She was able to eventually get into third after that contact. Enrique kind of tracked her down a little bit and was able to make a move to get by, but nonetheless, Andy Rule ends up
5-second.
There you go. Andy Rule ends up finishing in third spot. She's doing a great job hustling that shifter car around. There's no doubt. Enrique ends up fourth, and Zach Schiff. Good to see Zach back here again, back in his Stars at Karting days. On the first kart, he ends up. I know he's been doing a lot of racing with the HMG guys on the TV.
I think it's his first race this year.
I think
he's been in the kart all season. So yeah,
not bad for an old guy. He used to run ADCC Junior and then Senior.
I know he's almost he looks like a master driver, but he's not quite there.
Oh, it's not true. Oh my God.
I gotta throw him under the bus. He's Ohio State, so I throw him under the bus whenever I can.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Especially this year because we were gonna win.
All right.
No football.
Yeah, this is true. All right, let's wrap things up. And this is, I think, one of the coolest things of the entire weekend to start off our second weekend, because really the first week of the triple header, running that super mile layout was all Magic Kart USA, right? Because all three of their drivers were able to get one win. Andrew Pedozzo, round one. Rory Vanderster, round two, and AJ Myers, round number three. And the Burrell guys, Jake French and Danny Formal and the Charles Leclerc, they were great, were good, but they just weren't there to really fight with it. Wholesale changes, a lot of work done on the kart with Jake's dad, Mark French from Full Gas. And wow, French just came out of the gate like an absolute rocket at the start, was able to take the lead early and then hold AJ Myers at bay.
And a new layout, again.
It's the first national.
Everybody's used to the national layout, and essentially that's what the super mile is, aside from the ski jump that Formal gains a half a second over everybody, but just isn't able to do it on the rest of the racetrack. But Formal got the whole shot. He top qualifier, pre-final winner. Got the whole shot, but French was able to strike early, and essentially that's something we haven't really seen up front a lot, aside from the Myers-Formal contact. I think it was round two. We haven't seen a lot of passing up front.
No, you're right.
Once kind of they get settled in, it's almost like they're going 10 tenths and they're at 100%, and there's no room to give. And we haven't seen a lot of passing from position late. And
what in a shifter car, what's one of the best ways to pass at Newcastle? It's hard under the brakes. And I'm sorry, French, Myers, Formal, Musgrave, which one of those guys are going to outbrake each other? Like, let's be real. Like, these guys are unbelievable deep on the brakes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they're all. Everyone's going to tell you they're better than each other.
I mean, Ron White is the best of them all.
That's true. Yeah,
but he's not here. But you take any one of those drivers and you can put him second best.
That's it.
I'll just leave it at that.
You're going to get.
Ron White.
Ron White. Wow, big time.
I mean, the guy's like 45 years old and these kids still race these guys.
There's no doubt about that. He's a badass. So French with the win, Myers second, Danny Formal, a lot of pressure from behind. First from Rory Vanderster, then from Billy Musgrave. Billy Musgrave on the factory kart looking really good, much different than he was last week, really kind of able to dial things in. So Chente Salas ends up getting the win on the factory kart in Pro 2, and Billy P4. Rory Vanderster rather in fifth. That keeps him in the championship, David, because he obviously was in pretty good shape. He had one bad race, the opening race. I think he finished a little further down. Just 162 in the opening round. One of the things is with this particular category, everybody in the pro shifter class had at least one bad race.
Yeah.
Vanderster, 162 points in the opening race. You go to AJ Myers, and he got the contact 217 in race 2, contact with Myers over in turn number 8.
Even his opening round was only 210.
There you go.
So that's his drop race, because he's got to keep the second round.
Pedozzo wins the opening round, 175 in the third when he had some issues.
Yeah.
Kyle Wick kind of across the board, nothing super special. Where he had a good run out of the box with Pole in the opening round, but he really hasn't been up there.
All those 6 drivers are essentially still in the championship chase when you had
French was 6th. French was 6th coming in.
Yeah, so he's going to jump up because again, it was 100 points going into this weekend. 100 points from 1st to 6th.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's you can gain it like again 5 spots, 6 spots, almost 100 points.
And Rory Vanderster with fast lap of the race as well. So
it's
not even one of the so he gets 10 points there, which I think is pretty solid. So
I mean the bonus points could essentially decide the championship in this category, which will be pretty exciting.
Well, I think the key thing too is we went over this quite a bit. I guess you don't think about it in the opening weekend, but every point and every opportunity, even the pre-finals are super important. Some guys may settle back in the pre-final and not get aggressive. Well, there's 10, 15 points a spot. You got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you go for it if it's there. You got to weigh the percentage of a move.
Risk reward.
Yeah. So we talk like we're experts at it. I mean, we can see it. We just can't.
We just can't do it.
Especially this guy. I'm gonna drink now.
Every time. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions right now, pop them up. We're going to give you a couple seconds to give us some questions.
Yeah, we can go 3 more minutes.
That's it.
We'll be done.
That's it. 3 minutes. David knows how he wants to put some commercials in for the podcast later.
Well, then it'll be 9:45. I got to finish writing. I got to do points.
I got to have another cocktail.
I have to do points.
I got to relax a little bit.
If you want to talk about points all weekend, because I know math is hard for you.
I work so hard the entire day.
Math is hard.
Voice on the mic. Yeah. David just phones it in, takes a couple pictures. That's about it. Puts a couple things up on the internet. Walks around.
I do nothing at all.
I didn't say he did nothing, Dave. I said it was easy. I said what you do is easy.
Oh, okay.
Danny Formal says, see you tomorrow. That's Danny, we will do exactly that, my friend. Big thank you to Ansa Motorsports, one of our broadcast partners of the show.
Who's the other
this
one?
particular weekend. Franklin
Motorsports
Motorsports and Trinity Karting Group, our good friends at Trinity. And, of course, Team Cooper Tire as well.
So I think we almost had all three on the podium.
We probably did. Jeffrey Masters, I like that. Thank you for the awesome coverage and laughs, guys. Appreciate all you do for the sport. Jeff, appreciate that. Thank you. What's that, Alicia?
Yep.
I didn't see you do anything, Alicia, up here.
She didn't know.
I'm gonna scroll out. Maybe I
don't see it.
For some reason, hers are not coming up. Are they blocked by this?
I think we got blocked.
That's what it is. I'm not quite sure.
Somebody's sleeping.
We'll do this again on Saturday nights and Sunday night. Give you the debrief. I will tell you this right now. I'm not sure that we'll be doing anything debrief live. I'm going to tell you that we're not doing any debrief live next week because I'm going straight into Indy 500 prep for my IndyCar radio gig.
Maybe you could do Monday. Do what you did with Rory and Bryson, depending on,
All right, we'll look at that.
Monday. It's not hard. You set aside a half hour to do that while I'm driving home. You can at least do that.
I gotta get notes. I got to figure out. You're not here to help me out.
Blah, blah, blah. 500. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Yeah, we're good to go. All right. Done. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you for sure. If you're trackside, make sure to step by and say hi to Heidi Welk. Awesome stuff. EKN swag. Lots of great stuff there as well. This shirt. I'm not sure. Actually, this shirt.
That shirt is there.
Is it there?
Yep. This hat.
The one I like, and I'm not having any kids, but we have a baby onesie that said, my parents booked it. If you're having a kid. You gonna have more kids?
No.
Two's enough? I love it. Yeah. Wow, I really caught you off guard there. Oh, good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here in the EKN Debrief Live. We do appreciate it. Newcastle round number 5, the SKUSA Summer Nationals. Situation Saturday, tomorrow. We'll be live, of course, 9 o'clock, 9:05, something like that from trackside. We'll get things underway. And again, the full day qualifying, pre-final, final, all on the EKN Radio Network. Yeah, it happened to me. That's why I'm not going to have the kids. Thanks, folks.
No. Yeah, the music.
What?
Yeah.
What music? I don't do the music. I just shut her down. You want to do the music?
No, just say book it and shut it down.
Book it.